Walt Disney World has always been more than just theme parks. Even back in the 70s, when the Magic Kingdom was the only park, the resort featured enough special activities to turn from just a theme park into a vacation kingdom. Fishing, boating, golfing, animal exhibits, spas, the ability to rent a pocket pager for only $5 a day, 6 for the premium model, this place had it all. Since rentable pocket pagers weren't for everyone, Disney wanted to add some more exciting activities for the whole family. So they created the world's first themed water park, River Country. Nestled in the back of the Fort Wilderness Campground on the edge of Bay Lake lied a rather quaint water park with a few slides, a nature trail, a tire swing. It seemed simple, but that was intentional. It was meant to feel less like a water park and more like a swimming hole where Huck Finn might splash around for a spell. Those city folk could come down and forget their worries and cares as they relaxed out in nature. In order to help with the authenticity of the experience, the main pool was filled with water from Bay Lake. Real, natural river water. Of course, this is Disney. They ain't just gonna slap some slides onto a big pond and call it a day. The water was filtered first, and where the big pool met Bay Lake, there was an elevation change so that no unfiltered water could flow up into the pool. A lot of work was put into making this swimming hole just as safe as a regular water park. But it wasn't perfect. The river water, even filtered, still was somewhat murkier than chlorinated water was, which made it tougher for lifeguards to see people who needed help or were drowning. But the most infamous danger of the park was the Brain Eating Amoeba. In 1980, an 11-year-old boy passed away after being infected by the amoeba which was found in the waters of River Country. This tragedy is often sensationalized when discussing this park, and is even usually cited as the reason for its closure. I understand the confusion. A brain-eating amoeba certainly sounds insane and terrifying enough to close a water park over, but the reality is more mundane. That amoeba grows in freshwater in Florida's climate. It doesn't usually pose much of a risk, but every year 3 or 4 cases pop up across the state from people swimming in lakes. It's rare, but it does happen, and there's not much anyone could have done to prevent it, even Disney. River Country stayed open for over 20 more years after that incident. Over time, as crowds to Walt Disney World continued to grow, this small swimming hole just couldn't keep up. There wasn't really room for a major expansion, nor was there much incentive for one, since Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach were bigger and better in nearly every way. It always closed for the winters for maintenance, but when it shut down in 2001, it never reopened. They said in 2002 it would reopen in 2003, but that never happened, and in 2005, River Country officially closed, 5 years after the last day it was open. For that half-decade the park was in limbo. It started to rot as management tried to decide what to do with it. And since it was already starting to fall apart, Disney decided to save themselves the trouble of demolishing it and just let nature reclaim it. The abandoned water park sat in ruins just out of guests' view, making it a popular target for urban explorers. In 2018, what was left of River Country was finally demolished to make way for a brand new hotel, though that project was cancelled in 2020, leaving this site, once again, abandoned by Disney. Big thanks to The Lonely Desolation for suggesting this episode. I have a lot of fond memories from Fort Wilderness and loved talking about it. Give this video a like if you've ever camped at Disney, and if you haven't, like this video to let me know.